Africa so far. They have three teams in the round of 16, so huge one. We'll talk about that, and then we'll also talk about what the Tigresses are doing in Rwanda. Amazing stuff. I don't know who is. In fact, yesterday Senegal played against Mali, and I was just like, see how both of you are hustling to collect from Nigeria, because that's all you're going to do. You're going to collect.
That's bonanza.
But so we'll talk about what the Tigresses are doing. We'll also touch a little bit on pre-season, because pre-season is upon us. Arsenal fans, first test of fire, Manchester City in the Community Shield. How do you think your team is going to fare? We'll talk about all that and more in the locker room. But before we do that, tell us, Omas, how can we be part of the locker room?
Okay, for those who are itching already to be part of the conversation, you can do well to send us a message up on 0809 4440981. Once again, on WhatsApp, messages only 0809 4440981. There we go, Tega. Let's roll out what's on the menu inside the locker room.
Oh, we are also
on,
streaming live on YouTube.
YouTube.
Yes.
So there we go. The Tigers crush Rwanda to reach the fourth consecutive Afrobasket Championship final. It's on the menu. And we also see Alexander Pope. I can't comprehend Germany's World Cup exit. You will get to sleep and wake up and understand later. And Lionel Messi, World Cup winner, scores 2 as Inter Miami beats Orlando City 3-1. And there's also Man City brace for Arsenal, assault in Community Shield as Tega entered already, and FIFA probing misconduct complaint involving Zambia women. And we'll find Chelsea's Nkuku injures knee, Pochettino refuses to blame Peach. And Bayern Munich edge Liverpool 4-3 in Singapore. These and more, Tega will shed light on inside the locker room. Tega.
All right. So here it is. So let's start with the Tigresses in Rwanda first, and then see how that pans out before we get to the Super Falcons, who are playing at 8 a.m. We'll also talk about that. But first, let's start with the Tigresses of Nigeria and what we are doing in Rwanda. I like the way I say we when we are winning.
If it's bad, it's them. But now it's we.
All right.
So it says the Nigerian senior women's basketball team, the Tigers, on Thursday in the ongoing Afrobasket Women's Championship, crushed host city Rwanda 79-48 to reach another final.
All right. So like I said, four pits on still on the way. But the Tigresses, I think that their toughest test was against Mozambique, and it did give a scare, because after Mozambique defeated Ivory Coast, I remember I was like, okay, these guys are good, they're fast, but it's the quality of opposition they faced.
Yes.
These people now wanted to give me high blood pressure. First and second quarters, they were at it with the Tigresses going toe to toe with them, especially in the paint. They were kind of dominating the basket, even in our paint. It was a tough one, but the team, I mean, there's quality all around on the team, that they were able to overcome that and win that game. But as soon as they won that game, the host Rwanda were next in the semi-final, and they blitzed through the host. It was horrible. They blitzed through the host so badly that when Rwanda started looking like they were going to mount a comeback in the third quarter, even I started to wish well for them. They cannot be beating you like this in your own home country.
Hosting and getting that
before Rwanda will say, we are not hosting again, we are not doing it, people should come and be going. It was
no, but the scoreline says it all. It was 79-48.
It was a dominant display of players, completely dominant display. Again, kudos to the girls, but especially to Amy Okoronkwo. She has been dropping WNBA numbers. That's all I can call
back
it.
To
back. Every performance is a hit since the first game. So I would say absolutely amazing performance. And so the Tigresses are in the final. Now, guess what? Nigeria, my gender, you like to make me feel great. Nigeria has the only women's coach at the Afrobasket.
I see.
She now becomes the first women's coach to qualify for a final. So trust me, records are already tumbling. Nigeria now faces Senegal. Now Senegal also started the tournament slowly. We started on a high. We've been dominant
Yes.
throughout. But Senegal started the tournament a little slowly, and we're wondering what is wrong with Senegal. But they have come back into this. And they've found a way after defeating Mali, which was a good contest between both teams. They faced the Tigers again. Now, are Senegal a tough opponent every day of the week and twice on Sunday? However, I think the way that the Tigresses have adapted to situations in game, especially that Mozambique game, gave me a completely different idea. Before they stay down on the 3 point line and knock down their shots and it'll be smooth. But with Mozambique, they had to also battle in the paint. So defensively, they showed a different level of solidity I hadn't seen for most of the tournament.
Yeah.
And offensively, they struggled, but they came back and they were able to win that game. So Senegal, yes, would be a tough opposition. But because of the way I've seen the Tigresses change the game and adapt in game, I think that the Tigresses are going to be able to not just defend their title, but also get the four picked up. So we'll wait to see how that pans
And
out
so
on Saturday.
we don't lose the name of, because it's a first. We need to
Yes.
mention our name for those at the back who
Oh
can
yeah.
get the name. The name of the head coach for the Tigress is Rena Wakama.
Wakama.
Okay.
Yes.
So would that be right for us to now segue straight to Australia and New
And
Zealand?
see, yes, let's go to Australia, New Zealand, and see what is happening.
And
there.
the Falcons are talking tough here, because this is it. We don't care who they are. Bring it on. Super Falcons captain Onome AB is in confident mode ahead of their mouth-watering round of 16 clash against tournament favorites, European champions, England, at the ongoing Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, so she was like, oh yeah, that we had in our team, we had Olympic champions. They're out, we're through. We also knocked out world number 10. I'm sorry, no, we didn't knock out, but we beat world number 10 ranked team, and we are through to the next round. And now people are telling us that European champions are here. That we should be afraid, or we should give up. And she's saying, you know what, we're still going to have that same fighting
No
spirit we had
respect.
through the group stage. We're not going to care who our opposition is. We're just going to bring our A game and play them. I like that spirit. I like she's not just talking tough. I think they also the girls also believe in themselves, and they feel like they can achieve something with this team, especially with the way the World Cup is going. This World Cup is no respecter of anybody. They're like
It's just shattering all bookmakers' predictions,
exactly.
everything.
Just step on the pitch and show who you are. You have to defend who you are. If you say you're world number two, show us that you're world number two.
Show who you are.
Show who you are.
That's what she said.
So if you cannot disrespect anybody, and you cannot show respect to anybody, just get on the pitch and play the best to the best of your ability. And I would say this: the England side are a technically sound side, and like I said, they're coached by one of the best women coaches in the game. Best coaches in the game. Let's end this. Best coaches
Serena
in the game.
Vigman.
Serena Vigman. She's amazing. But also the English have had their own struggles coming into the World Cup, and even in their first two matches, they were not as convincing up until they stepped up against China and scored 6 goals. So is it going to be a tough opposition? Yes. But can the Super Falcons adapt their way around it? Because even the Lionesses, when you hear the analysis already, they're like, we don't know what the Super Falcons play. Different people have different styles.
Yes.
When you come against Germany, you know how they're going to set up. You come against the US, you know how they're going to set up. The Super Falcons they're like chameleons. They set up how you set up. So whatever you bring on the day, they adapt and bring it back, and that's what makes it a little tricky, for teams to plan against them. So yeah, as much as the Super Falcons should be wary of the Lionesses of England, the Lionesses of England should also be wary of the Super Falcons of Nigeria.
So it's the Lions against those of the sky then.
Yeah, the birds against the lions.
Okay,
so let's see how it pans out. But really, really great one, and Nigeria has an opportunity to even go further. So let's see how.
But right inside the locker room, wouldn't be just the right time for us to give a worthy mention to the debutants also before we pass on to
because the debutants will come into the next story. It's important.
Okay, great. That takes us into Alexander Pope. I can't comprehend Germany's World Cup exit. When the whistle went in Brisbane, confirming Germany were leaving the Women's World Cup, 17 days before the final takes place, some players fell to their knees in tears while others stared, drifting ghost-like across the pitch, barely taking in what had just happened.
They couldn't believe it. No, I don't know. In the words of a certain young man, they never experienced it. That's the way. That's exactly. See, Alexander Pop was stunned until she went to the conference room, and every question they asked her, she looked like she wasn't there because she was trying to process. How did we just leave this World Cup that we are one of the favorites to win? Started the World Cup on high, 6-0 win against Morocco.
Yes.
And we know the history of the Germans, never having lost in the group stage. Ranked number 2 in the world, two-time world champions. They were coming here for a reason. They were upset that they didn't win the Euros last year, and they lost the Euros in the final. So they're coming to the World Cup to make a statement like we're not going anywhere. We are back. Yes. Only for them to take 4 steps back, because this was horrible across board. And I would say this for Germany. It was I would say several things for Germany that I saw. I think most of their problems weren't necessarily the players they had, as much as it was the coach's tactics. So Vos Tecklenburg, for the life of me, I didn't understand what she was doing. Okay, yes, you struggled in your match against Colombia, and you could say, okay, maybe we lost to the surprise that Colombia was able to bring. But the very next match, you have a player like Alexander Pop, whose best position is on the shoulder of the last defender. Anything in the air, Alexander Pop eats it up. She has 4 goals in the group stage. She's one of the highest goal scorers in the tournament as we stand. Anything in the air, she eats it up. She knows how to turn the last defender. That's her position. Vos Tecklenburg decided on the morning that, you know what, let me not play people in their roles. Let me tweak something. And then she moves Alexander Pop to the number 10 position. Now, Alexander Pop is not the best player. I mean, she'll play any role you give her because she's hardworking like that, and she's efficient, and she's ambitious, and she wants to win. But she's not the best player with the ball to her feet. So you telling her to play in the number 10 role to link up with Sherla, who is playing the role that Alexander Pop thrives in, was the most ridiculous idea. And for the first 45 minutes, you watched how that didn't pan out well. And the few chances that Alexander Pop had inside the 18-yard box, she dominated even more than the Sherla. The first thing you would have thought to do was to switch positions, play her in a natural position. Vos Tecklenburg was like, no, let's just leave it like that. And then she went on to make 2 changes for me that at the end of the day didn't pan out, with bringing Lohman in. Lohman is she's a good, talented player, but she does not know how to share the ball. And you need goals, and you have players that can do better on the ball, and she doesn't know how to share the ball. Why do you bring her in when you need a goal? So I would say this: Vos Tecklenburg got it wrong on the day, but people have to get it wrong for other people to get it right. Because they got it wrong, Morocco did the business. When I was doing my calculations, I didn't even think about Germany losing. I just kept thinking, how will Morocco score 5 goals against Colombia? Because in my mind, Germany had already beaten Korea. But yesterday, Morocco said, you know what, let's just do our best. They scored a goal. They defended with their lives to the last minute. They were able to get away with the win. And then they got the shock result that Germany drew in Brisbane, and they were through to the next round. So amazing result for Morocco. Congratulations to them. 2 wins on their debut at the World Cup. Even Nigeria did not do 2 wins. Okay. So congratulations to them. But I want to say this: Nigeria, South Africa, and Morocco, all in the round of 16, and all of them are facing their former colonial masters.
Okay. On that note, we'll go on a break at this time, but we'll let you know that when we come back, you can be part of the conversation on the phone line 0809 444 0981. 0809 444 0981 will be the number for WhatsApp messages only.
8.1. It just feels good.
What does future forward banking mean to you? Speed, innovation, convenience, lifestyle goals, or just simply getting service that is designed just for you? Yeah, we thought you might like all of that and more. That is why we specially created Providus Bank for you to
So when
take
we
care
come back,
of
we'll
your
come back
daily
with the messages
experiences.
first.
No?
At
When we come
Providence
back, we'll
Bank,
come back
we
with these
believe
messages
that
first,
banking should be
and
all
then
about
we'll.
you and your business and how to get you to the next level. If you do not already have a Providence Bank account, please speak with our business concierge on 0700 77 684 387 or email businessconcierge at providencebank.com to switch to a future forward banking experience. Providence Bank. Future forward banking.
Welcome to the Visa Summer Experience. Enjoy offers from merchants worldwide, courtesy of Visa. Explore the world with complimentary
But that
hotel
goal that was
insurance.
chopped off,
Relax.
honestly,
Premium airport
No, no,
lounges
no. She was
available.
offside.
Pop was just. But look at that flick. That flick. Oh, that goal was. For me, it wasn't the goal. I just love that flick. That.
Yeah, but
Oh
she was
boy,
offside.
that was
She
awesome.
was ahead of the ball. So yeah, so
Oh my
you have to
god.
be behind the
She
ball.
was just so unfortunate on the night. And you know she hit the woodwork again.
Yeah, she also hit the. So you understand? Put a player in the position she drives. You're playing her in 10. Are you high? They should leave her in Australia, Jerry. Let her find her way home.
This is not your typical sport.
I was really upset because I wanted Pop. This is going to be. I can almost guarantee her last World Cup. I don't think she's going to come back in 4 years.
No, there's not age on her side. I doubt it.
So, but it was so upsetting to see the coach make all those mistakes.
Why would you change a winning team and the strategy
Ah.
at that time? What do you do? Tweak?
Eh. And you know, once it comes to crunch time like that, because they are desperate, they'll
Yes.
make more mistakes than when they were relaxed.
Yes.
So really horrible.
The girls finished. Morocco finished. They weren't celebrating. Now they all crowded around themselves. They were watching the game.
Football now on Tuesdays and Thursdays at
We're back.
7 p.m.
Yeah.
and Saturdays at 11
So we'll
a.m.
come back with this message.
And we're back. Lagos is still the locker room on Smooth 98.1 FM. Tega Onojiafe, the princess, is still here. Tega?
All right, so let's take some of your messages that are already coming through. Emeka Onelum from Amowo says, kudos to the Tigers for their amazing victory against Rwanda. First quarter alone, 22-6. At some point, we were screaming, it's okay now, it's okay, blow the whistle. I agree. The Twitter handler of the Tigers was also giving us funny crews throughout the game. As for the Community Shield this weekend, we got the rice, we got the timber, and we got the party. Okay, I'm waiting till you have rice. You are bringing rice and you are bringing timber.
Okay,
It is Man City that will cook you. That's all I can say.
All right, what else are we see there? We see Samuel still typing.
So Mohammed says, Tega, I didn't know the Tigresses coach was a woman. I didn't even know that they had a new coach. Yeah, she was hired maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the tournament. This must be the reason for the open camp, because you know the so-called senior players who were winners would be harder to control. Mohammed, I'm just going to stop reading your messages because they show a certain level of bias I cannot comprehend.
Tayo.
And Tayo says, Germany was spoiled for choice. Happy retirement to Gigi Buffon. And he says, the mafioso are now satisfied with his down payment. People were saying a lot of things. Chinwe Nancy says this.
Chinwe Nancy says, I'm not surprised that Germany and Brazil are out. Even USA #1 were not convincing in the group stages. May these surprise victories favor Super Falcons over England, though? Because I am very worried about England.
Exactly. England are just, but let's see how it works. We have a lot of upsets have been happening. We should pray for an upset. All right, this is Sam from Ikoyi. He says,
for Germany, isn't it interesting that South Korea women did what the South Korean men did to the German male team at the recent Qatar FIFA World Cup
you
tournament?
know?
Good times, my people. Good times, Sam from Ikoyi. This one, please. I thought our female basketball team they were bad. That's what.
No. They weren't bad. They stopped them from going to the World Cup, and they said they're going to cancel all the drama. And then FIBA threatened to ban them from competitions. So that decision was overturned in time for FIBA not to bring the ban. So it was too late for them to go to the World Cup because they had already been replaced, but they had not been banned. Okay. So they're playing in their tournament. And they have won so far. They are in the final, and they have qualified for the one spot to play for the Olympics qualifiers. So this is a double-edged sword. really good results for them. So let's see how they continue.
And that takes us into our next message. Lionel Messi, World Cup winner, scores two as Inter Miami beat Orlando City 3-1. Lionel Messi continued his fine start for Inter Miami as he scored twice in a 3-1 win over Orlando City in the League's Cup on Wednesday. That's
Yes,
in the US.
in the US Leagues Cup. Oh yeah, Messi just went to America to chill. That's what you do when you're 36.
Soft
You
life.
no hustle, just make some money, make a good name, and just chill. I think the most amazing thing he's what he's doing for the team, because since he's come, they have been winning, and they hadn't won in 11 matches before prior to his arrival. So you can imagine the next 3 matches, you've gone from being the worst team to one of the most feared team, and you are delivering. So huge one for Lionel Messi and Inter Miami, huge one for Beckham, and also huge one for MLS. And you see countries that have foresight what they're doing. So all these buys, all this noise, it's in a build up to the 2026 World Cup. At the end of the day, you see what Saudi Arabia is doing. They're also trying to remember they're trying to bid to host the World Cup
After Qatar.
Yes, Saudi Arabia is trying to bid to host the World Cup. So everything that's happening, the money that they're splashing in their football, the players that they're bringing in, all this noise that they're making, it's also in the build up to that. The World Cup is for Saudi Arabia. They may not even get it, but it's several years away. They're already planning. America already has it. We know we are going to America for 2026, but they're building up already, sensitizing the nation, because the US, like I said, football, they don't even call it football, they call it soccer. Soccer is not their major sport. They still have American football, they have baseball.
Rugby is there.
No, not rugby, baseball.
Okay.
American football, baseball. Don't mix it up.
Okay,
I'll fight
I
you.
get it. Yeah, the one
American
where with
football,
them-
baseball,
with them,
they have the
yes.
NBA,
Yeah.
and those are their sports. And then soccer comes in after maybe tennis. And so they're trying to make the fans popular with the sport before 2026 arrives. So it's going to be a really huge deal. But great one for Lionel Messi and his team, doing a good job for Inter Miami.
Money well spent then.
Money well spent.
Still talking about another city, but outside the US now, but this city is in the UK. Man City braced for Arsenal assault in Community Shield. That's heralding the start of the Premier League season. Mikel Arteta has challenged big spending Arsenal to deliver a statement of intent ahead of the Premier League season when they face treble winners Manchester City in the Community Shield on Sunday.
Yes, that's where you start to see the result of the money you spent on Declan Rice, the overpriced fellow. But I would say this. So the match is going to happen on Sunday. Now, Arsenal has already been hit with some bad news. Gabriel Jesus is out with an injury. I did think that Arsenal should have gone for a striker. Yes, a midfielder was important, especially as Granit Xhaka was leaving. Jorginho is not a great part of the plan, and there was some confusion about Thomas Partey's staying or his transfer. But regardless of whether Thomas Partey was staying or leaving, Arsenal already needed to buffer up their midfield and their defense. But I also thought that they needed a striker up front, because remember when Gabriel Jesus got injured last season, and everybody expected Nketiah to step up. He didn't really step up. Yeah, there were 1 or 2 moments of brilliance, but that was not the consistency you need to challenge for anything. So I actually did think that Arsenal was going to go into the market and shake some trees and get a good player.
Mikel Arteta has other plans then.
And now Gabriel Jesus has picked up an injury, so he's not starting the season with them. But Arsenal face Manchester City in the Community Shield. What are your predictions? Is this going to be Manchester City dealing with Arsenal, or will Arsenal start their season with a trophy? The numbers to call are
will be that line is down right now, so they can
just send
do
your
that
messages. Send your messages to
0809 444 0981. But Tega, before we drift on to our next conversation, how important is the result of the
Community
Shield in determining what pans out
No,
finally
it's
this season?
it's just a statement of intent. It doesn't.
Has there ever been a case where one who lifts the shield eventually, in some cases,
Oh
to stay?
yes,
And just
yes,
that's,
but
let's say you can.
it's just, but still, it's a statement of intent. If you leave the community shield and you don't do the business all through the 38
Okay,
games, you don't get
I
to
get
lift
your
the
point.
trophy.
All
So,
right.
but it's a step. It shows that you're ready to compete, especially when it's Manchester City. But remember that the Premier League is a completely different. The community shield is like a sprint, 100 meters, and it's over. Um, the Premier League is like a marathon. The technique is different. The technique that is required is different. So that's but when you beat a club like Manchester City, everybody now starts looking at you a little bit.
Yes.
So let's hear your predictions. Who do you think is going to win the Community Shield? Will it be Manchester City or will it be Arsenal? Let's take some of your messages here.
We see this one from Fed Dio. Good morning, Super Tega. Amazing feat from the Tigress. Please help me to tell Ateta to please sign a potent striker. Fed Dio.
I will send
Pass
him
the
a WhatsApp
message
message.
on. Let's see, Tayo. Tayo is here for us. Let's see.
Read one says,
Okay, read one. It was great and surprising seeing Morocco qualifying for the round of 16 ahead of Germany. I think these Germans were ranked the second favorites for the tournament. Great to see Jamaica and my favorite Bonishaw qualifying as well. Thought it's painful that Brazil and their beautiful ladies are out. Lionel Mercy is just doing Netflix and chill in Miami.
I'm telling you. Tayo says, congrats to Man City in advance for winning the tray, popularly called the Community Shield. Okay, so Tayo has said that Manchester City is going to defeat Arsenal. Arsenal fans, come on. You've bought some players in the market. Come on, brag. Tell us, who do you think will win this? Will Mikel Arteta get one over his former boss, or will Pep Guardiola run the same as usual?
While we wait for that, let's get into this next one. FIFA probing misconduct complaint involving Zambian women.
Okay, so before we get to that, let's take this message from YouTube. You can send your messages to YouTube at Smooth FM. Ozuchuku says,
hi Tega, good morning. Think it will be 3 goals to 2 to Man City. That's predicting for Sunday's game.
For Sunday's game, yeah. So let's get to that story. So we hear that there was a misconduct going on in Zambia, and they refused to mention names, but it leaked out that it was with Coach Mwepu, and it involved him touching a lady's breasts.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to understand why this is a serious issue, because Zambia last year there were some investigations into Zambia saying that the female footballers were being abused. So you had to pay for play, and it was not with money. So there was already that incident happening in Zambia. It happened in a few countries, including the United States of America. But those sexual harassment, the accusers, there were internal investigations. Some of the accusers had to be suspended till their case is sorted out. So they're still going through that. But with Zambia, the incident happened, the story came out, and it was FIFA that was now reading their new code of ethics for women's sports. The internal investigations, we've still not heard where it went to, only for this news to come out now at the World Cup. And I'm just like, Zambia, you can't, not again. Not again. We don't know who's guilty or who's innocent, but at this point in time, there's obviously something going on there, based on what had started last year and now has happened at the World Cup. So we wait to see how that pans out.
We're out of time.
We are out of time, so let's just get some of your messages and
Good
your
morning,
predictions.
Tega. Please tell Ateta to buy Oli
Watkins
to test
a tested Premier League striker. Okay.
Ola. Good morning. It says the Community Shield will be shared. However, this season will still be between the two. Thank God league football is starting again. Ola from Ikoyi.
All right. Larry from the abroad says...
Wait. We are not going to talk about the Somalian runner. Apologies if I miss it. Larry from abroad.
I did not talk about the Somalian runner because they said they are investigating it. So we wait to hear what.
Hi, Tega. Why is Manchester City playing Arsenal for the Community Shield instead of Man U? And why does Ateta not give Folari Balogun a chance?
Okay.
Zuki, Ikeja.
So remember that the Community Shield is between the winners of the Premier League and the FA Cup, and Manchester City won both. If you look at the ranking of both trophies, the Premier League comes higher, so you play in the second team instead.
Okay, last one now. Read one says, I actually see Arsenal beating City on Sunday. Man City has lost the 2 Community Shields game. I don't think they really take it seriously. Read one.
Okay, all right. And on that note, let's leave the studio for Omas. Thank you so much for sending in your messages on YouTube and on WhatsApp. On Monday, Arsenal fans better win or get ready for cooking.
And we say thank you to Tega Onojiafe, the princess, for keeping us entertained and informed in the locker room. My name is Omatseye Atsenuwa. Stay tuned at Smooth 98.1 FM.
Say bye-bye. Oh, well, I'm already done.